Wednesday morning, February something. I don't know what the date is. But I am out here really quick just to show you a quick update. I haven't really videoed a lot lately. I've just been taking pictures, so I thought I'd come out and
I just wanted to get up close
so
you guys can see these peas. This one on the end right here is definitely the most fully developed, like the farthest along as far as how much leaf production and height that we have. But they're all looking really good. I have one little scrawny one down there. Not sure if that one's gonna survive, but doing pretty good. There's a little scrawny one. It might just be late bloomers, I don't know, we'll see. So over here with the turnips, we are getting more than just our initial 2 leaves on a lot of these. Same with these radishes. We've got, 4 leaves and then a 5th one coming up there. These ones are really big. Looking good. I know some of our other radishes are finally catching up in size. The beets, we've got some that have little buds in the middle there. And the carrots are definitely way more visible. Now it's kind of wet out here because it's foggy and misty, so that's why the ground looks wet, because it is, which is nice because I don't have to water today. And then remember I planted second thing of peas. Kale is looking good. This week I'm gonna plant some more things there. We'll see what I decide to do. And then that is the giant noble spinach. I'll get up close there in just a second. These are turnips, except for that, which is strawberry spinach. One tiny little sprout that did come up. I have no idea how it's gonna do, but I'm very surprised to see these germinating already, but that's good. And then over here was where I planted the onions, and remember I waited like 3 weeks and they hadn't come up yet. So I tilled just enough, to make rows to plant all these radishes and beets, and all the onions popped up. So I can get down here where you guys can see all of the tall things like this are onions, and they're everywhere. But then we also have radishes coming up. I planted beets here. I don't see those yet. But those radishes, this variety right here in these 2 rows has already come up. There's another sprout. Let me see if I can get my finger on it there, right around there, from another variety. But overall looking pretty good. There's an up close on that spinach. We're starting to get some leaves that actually look like spinach. Before we know it, these things are gonna be taken off. I'm excited. And then with the kale, we've got that curled leaf starting to come up. This is a Scottish curled leaf spinach, or kale, I mean, guys, check that out. So pretty. I love it. Look at the leaves. They're just beautiful. I definitely think I will grow this in the front yard next year. Not that I don't like the idea of a lettuce bed, but how beautiful would this look in some edible landscaping? Just a quick update out front. Those seeds are ready to be collected. I don't really know if I'm going to get anything off of them, but we'll see. Those are the red romaine. Got some monstrous kale and spinach growing. Check out the size of those leaves. This is the kind that I have growing in the backyard too, but they probably won't get this big because we're going to be eating off of them occasionally. The strawberries are growing. That might be a blossom right there. might. Now this is kind of cool to me. I think these are two different types of kale. I may be wrong, but look at the color difference there. They came out of the same thing, but they were starts from the grocery store, so you never know. But like, look, these even look even more different. I think this is a different type based on the way that it's growing. It's pretty cool. We've been eating off of that here and there. Flowers growing there. I think those are bachelor buttons. I'm not really sure what's wrong with this basil. I think I'm just gonna try again with some fresh leaves. I did them in those little peat starter things, and they have not grown at all past little sprouts. And it's been a couple weeks. We have kind of a bigger plan to turn this whole area basically into kind of a permaculture type garden. So starting here at the corner of the sidewalk and driveway, planning on putting gravel, and we'll have a little walkway that goes back to the backyard, and then the other side of the walkway we're gonna have something similar to this, an edging stone and mulch, and then we're gonna grow things like strawberries. Hopefully strawberries are gonna be right in here. We'll grow pumpkin, watermelon, things that need a lot of space, and have wildflowers out here, and then also planning on having blackberries and blueberries along the house. So lots of big plans coming in the next year. So the front yard thing is definitely still in like preliminary planning stages. But I have a vision of what we want to do, and Kyle is on board with it. It's gonna take our grassy front yard that does nothing for us and hopefully turn it into something that produces some really good food. I took some time last night and kind of sketched out a plan. This is the second sketch I've done. The first one was on a little sticky note, so this one has a little more details listed out on it. But the basic idea is this is our driveway, our garage, and our house. And what I showed you that we have so far is just this. So the plan is to, all of the rest of this is grass right now. The plan is the only remaining grass is going to be an easement for the road, and then this little piece right here, and then on this side we'll leave grass for now. So yeah, I'll just kind of walk you through. We've got, we want to do blueberries along this side of the house. It gets a really good amount of sun during the day, and I think that they would do really well. There's nothing planted over there right now, and there's tons of room. So I think that blueberries are the perfect solution to maximize our space. And then just coming over here, right now, you know, I showed you all the things that we have out there. I would like to plant some sunflowers along the house. And then my goal is this area will be more of a kitchen garden. So we're going to have hopefully all of these, maybe more. And you know, that there will be more room for that as I can remove things like those, I think they're sawgrass plants and those little bushes that really serve no purpose for us other than just looking nice. I'd rather replace those with edibles. So that is the plan there. I will still leave my flowers like my lantana and my mums and my daffodils, because those are going to be great pollinating or pollinator attractors. And I'm also planning on having flowers in my little pots too. So I will move the herbs to the ground, and then the flowers will be annual flower pots will be annual flowers. So that's what we have right now. So we have that stone border I showed you. So the plan is to add this gravel pathway, and it's going to go to the back. And once we get to the house, it will widen, but not by much, because this space actually, this is not to scale. This space is actually narrower than it looks there. So we're going to add the gravel pathway. We'll also have one kind of running from the house to the grass part. This is mainly just going to be for looks, but it will also be somewhat functional in a drainage capacity, because this is where the water pours off from the house. So yeah. On this side of the house, we are going to fit a few more blueberry bushes, and then these will be edged in with the same type of edging that we have in the front bed right now. I'll just kind of swing that corner out and we'll mulch under those, because I think that would look prettier than the gravel, and be a little more natural, help hold some moisture in. So then on this side, we're going to put blackberries. We have a fence right here. This is where the gate is, and this is our current fence line. We're going to extend with a rail fence down that fence line, kind of to make a barrier for what is kind of this makeshift driveway to the back of our property. This just kind of looks unattractive, and so I wanted to put a barrier up just to make it look a little bit prettier. And it'll also just help contain the things that we're growing in the actual yard space. So then I would like to put sunflowers along that fence as well. Wildflowers all in here, more lantana. And then this area is where we're going to grow large squashes, so things like pumpkin and watermelon. And then in between and all around, we'll have things like this. We'll have more herbs. I thought growing onions out here was a really cool idea, because you kind of get the effect of that sawgrass stuff that's growing here, but you can eat it. Celery would be really pretty. Like I said earlier, the lettuces would be really pretty out here. Lemongrass is an edible version of what we already have, so that would be an easy replacement. And then things like chamomile. And then over here, I really would love to have a strawberry patch. It would grow very, very well with the amount of sun that our front yard gets. So that's the general plan. Some ideas for just decorations and stuff. My goal is to make this look as much like a landscaped front yard as possible, but it also have the purpose of helping feed our family. And I think we have great potential, and we've got great ideas. This whole area already has a sprinkler system, so we'll cap off what we need to cap off, but we're going to utilize that sprinkler system as much as we can. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any suggestions, I'm always open to those. Ideas on how to grow these things, or just any feedback in general would be great. We are getting ready to go out, so I'm going to wrap this up, and we'll talk to you next time.
Good morning, y'all. I am just coming out really quick to show you the garden. It's really foggy this morning, but everything looks really pretty out here.
Only
so
a few
hang
of
on.
these have recovered. I'm just going to plant some more this afternoon, I think. That one's not doing too bad. I'm going to head on in here. Look at how bright that lettuce bed is over there. So pretty. I like coming out here in the morning when the ground is still wet from the dew, because it just makes everything pop. The peas are coming up really good. This one is starting to reach toward the trellis, this one on the end, which is good. I think I saw a couple of sprouts, yep, from our second batch. Push that one back down. There's one right there. There's one right there. And one right there. Several of them. That's good. Good to see those. Everything's looking good. Those are the turnips. These radishes have just sprouted leaves like crazy in the past day or so. And the beets are starting to get much bigger, which is good. Good to see. Carrots take a while, but you can at least see them now. That's good. Kale is still growing well. Some of the spinach ones that have had bigger leaves are getting a little bit bigger. You can see them better. This, remember, is the second round of turnips, except for that little thing, which is supposed to be strawberry spinach. I think it looks like we may have the second leaves kind of budding in between there. We'll see how that one does. Not really sure. Oh, look, we've got a couple more sprouts of it that have popped up. Interesting. See if we have any more. Maybe this is one too. And that one, oh my goodness, y'all, this is irritating. There's another one. I have waited almost a month to see these things come up. And now they've come up after I've planted something else. Look, there's more. Well, we're just gonna be planting things together apparently. Kind of like with the onions. Some of the onions are starting to stand up, you can see. That's kind of cool to see. And then we have our second round of radishes of varying types. We'll see how it affects those onions. This was an unintentional experiment, and a little bit annoying. I don't think I really have to explain what's going on here. Everything is growing really well. We have a few straggler seeds, like those, and over here, I don't know what variety they are, but I'll let them continue growing. They might be this same type. I need to look back at my notebook to see which each type is. I do know that there's 4 rows of this type. These 4 rows are another type. I think these 4 rows are another type. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one kind of looks like it got scattered. This is another type, and then that's the last type. The leaves look a little bit different on these ones. You can see they kind of have more of like a curled thing, whereas these are like broader, flatter. But anyway, that's the lettuce bed. Growing well. Been rethinking some of our ideas for how we're going to use these spaces. I've actually been rethinking what I wanted to use these telephone pole things that I found. And I was thinking it might be neat if I put them inside the garden, like how this is inside the gate, and I'd have to level it out a little bit, but just have like a little table, you know, something to set it on, and I could put one on the other side there. I don't know where I'd put the third one, but I don't know, I was just thinking maybe that would be a good use for them, since we're not really going to have a sitting area. So I say that we're not going to have a sitting area, but that's not completely accurate. We just have kind of adjusted some of our plans for this area. So remember, probably the first real update, I told you we were going to get gravel and put it here, and we'd have a shed in this corner, and then a sitting area and all that. Well, we probably aren't going to do that now. That's the beauty of plans. They can be changed. We are thinking about getting a shed that is about 8 feet wide, and we'll just take this fence panel out and we'll put the door, hopefully a garage style kind of door there, and maybe put the shed behind this fence so we could access the shed from here, but it wouldn't actually be in this space. And because of that, we probably are just gonna add more beds over here. I'm already seeing, as I've planned out what we're gonna plant where, that we could expand our bed space. I can find things to grow that we will eat. And so I'm working on kind of coming up with some ideas of what we would put over here, whether we would do 4x4 beds, which it's about the size of what those are, that compost bin is, or would I do more 4x8 beds, which are what my 3 over here are, or if I would do, you know, some more continuous beds like this. because I could easily take off the end boards and we would just expand from there. You know, there's lots of possibilities, and that expansion might honestly be what we go with, just for continuity's sake, I guess. But either way, I might have room for some chairs back here, but I'm thinking that with our plans for what we're gonna do here and closing in the back porch and putting a deck and patio, that I'll just have that seating area over there, and that we won't necessarily have it out in the garden. But I don't know, we're just trying to figure that out. That probably won't happen this year, just because we're kind of maxed out on what we've spent on this, and we just need to pace ourselves with the projects, especially because of all the stuff we have. I wanted to show you guys, this cucumber is still growing, y'all. It's pretty slow because of how cold it can get, but we've got more leaves on it. I'm so impressed. I mean, it's the beginning of February and that thing's been growing since December. Even despite the cold, it's pretty crazy. Here in the next couple weeks, we are going to be filling these beds with some mushroom compost and possibly a little bit of topsoil mixed in. But I'm hoping that we can just get straight compost. And we'll till that in, and then we will be ready to plant at the beginning of March. I'm excited about that. I'll show you guys how everything is growing while I'm out here. Peas are looking good. We got a new tendril up here on the top of that plant. Let's see, we've got some more with some tendrils here. So pretty soon they should be reaching up toward the trellis here. I've got a couple of ones that aren't doing so great, but I'll give them a chance and see. I think both of the ones that are squatty like that are that purple shelling pea, which is a soup pea. But oh my goodness, okay, I don't know if y'all can see this or not. I'm gonna try to get up really close. Yeah, you can. You see all that dust? That is pollen. The pine pollen is ferocious today. It is crazy. And the wind has been bad, so it has carried it everywhere. Show you from this side, that second set of peas, because it's easier to catch them from this angle. But they're all doing great. Definitely not a great germination rate for the purple shelling peas. Not at all. Like in the second batch of them, I have one sprout, two sprouts, and I planted probably 12 seeds. And on the first round, I don't think this is one. I think this is the first one because these plants look a little different. But, you know, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 healthy plants and 2 that are kind of squatty. So, not super impressed with those, honestly. But that's okay. We can't win them all. If we zoom in on the carrots, you can see they're starting to get some of their real leaves, which is cool to see. These are doing really well. I'm very, very impressed with them. I'm excited to taste them. The beets are looking good. Honestly, these seeds got scattered a little kind of weird, so I'm gonna have to go in and thin some out. But I want to let them get a little bit bigger. Gosh, this little cluster is kind of pitiful. Let's just take that guy out. Yeah, those are just kind of, they look like they're kind of struggling, to be honest. I don't really know. The radishes, on the other hand, man, these look good. Check these out. These are the ones that have been the biggest the whole time. And I think that they've just germinated the first, or the earliest, I should say. But these are just looking great. I can't wait to taste these. Check out those turnips. Look at this one. That one's looking really good. The kale is growing slowly but surely.
So over here are the second round of turnips,
And then all of these stinking strawberry spinach plants that decided to come up after I gave up on them. That'll teach me. There's one right there, one there, got another one there. They're just everywhere. There's one. I don't know what those are doing all the way over there. There's a couple of decent sized ones there. I don't know how they're gonna do, but since I have several sprouted, when they get a little bit bigger, I might try to transplant some. I don't know what they're gonna do though.
It is Monday afternoon. It's very foggy today. I don't know if you can even really tell on the video, but it is very foggy. It's kind of weird. But haven't had much sunshine today, but that's all right. We still have things growing. Our second round of sprouts are finally starting to get some bigger leaves on them, so I have two little helpers this afternoon who wanted to follow me out here. So carrots are looking good. Starting to see some you know, big carrot leaves there, not just the initial two. The beets are finally starting to get a second set of leaves. These guys take a while. I'm not really sure. Like, look how flimsy that stem is. Not really sure about those. Check out these radishes though, guys. Looking good. This one right there is gonna be a good one. These guys, you can kind of start to see the root developing down there. And then the turnips are doing good. So yeah, this whole bed looks pretty good right now. This second bed's looking pretty good. Hey Asher, can you say hi? No. Oh, okay. The kale down there is doing great. Spinach is doing good. Second round of turnips are doing good. You can see this is that strawberry spinach. Check out the lettuce, guys. You can really tell the difference in each of the varieties now. It's really cool. Let me see if I can get up close so you guys can see. I don't remember the names of any of these, but they are in my garden journal, so I can tell you. This one is more of like a yellow-green color, and then this is a little bit darker. It's really pretty. That first one has lots of red in it. And then this is a different one. This leaf has like little bits of red. And then this leaf is kind of curled. So those are 5 different types of lettuce here. Buddies, what are you doing? I have a feeling that hurts your feet. I found another volunteer squash of some sort right there. Oh, there's another one over by the fencing. I guess these are seeds that came out of my compost. I don't know. Check out that one. It's doing good. The initial leaves are kind of, oh, there's another one. The initial leaves are kind of dying back, and it's getting some actual leaves. That is crazy, guys. Crazy. So out front here in the greenhouse, I have all of my peppers and tomatoes, and then I planted a few herbs, and I went ahead and started a few cucamelons. They're all looking pretty good. I've got plenty of water in the trays down there, so I wish the sun would come out. I know it will eventually, but
back up so you can see that set up. Come on, buddies. That part of the house gets quite a bit of sun during the day, so it's a good spot. We still haven't planted anything in this big pot yet. Might get some flowers to put there, or we'll start some more from seed. These are the ones we started from seed. They're coming up. One of them is poppies, and one of them is bachelor buttons. I think these are the poppies. I'm not positive though. Got some daffodils that I planted in the fall that are coming up. They should have more plants in the garden centers here soon, and I'm probably going to get some more of them just to start planting in other places. Where's the bunny, Leland? Where's the bunny? Oh, good job. What did you find, Asher? The squirrels. Very good. So very good. Over behind the bunny here, those two little patches of leaves are my lantana that are coming back. The builder put those in when they did the initial landscaping, and I love lantana. It's a great attractor for pollinators. And it's really that is a rosemary bush up there. Got spearmint right here. That is a little mum that has come back. So is that one right there. That's lavender. And then right there, I just cut back a bunch of stuff off of the oregano to let the new stuff really get a chance to take off. And then that is another mum. Got some peppermint. Another mum. This is where the cucamelons are going to grow, I'm planning, at least. And I just tore out a bunch of stuff a few days ago that was in here that was just generic plants. And I planted a bunch of flowers along there and some more right here. And then we'll get some edibles in here in the summertime. Come on! What are you guys doing? Oh, really? What? Oh. Okay. Okay. So in this big pot, I planted some more stevia seeds. Haven't seen anything yet, but the germination period is really long for those, so we'll see what happens. And then that is just plant start of sage that I got. More flowers there. Basil there that's not doing so great, so I'm going to try again. And then that is some English thyme. Hey y'all, I am out here this morning. It is a Tuesday morning, and I just wanted to show you the radishes. Check out that little root that's starting to develop. Check out how big our peas are getting. This one is the biggest plant so far. Everything looks really good. Even that whole second row of them is doing pretty good, with the exception of these purple shelling peas. With the purple shelling peas, this is one, this is one, this is one, and this is one, and this little one might be one, not positive. And then I think I have 1, 2, 3, looks like there's a sprout there and a sprout there that actually came up, and I planted just as many of those as I did all the others. But they just didn't come up very well. I'm not really sure why. Overall, everything is growing great. We're really excited about this sun this morning. We really need some sunshine, so hopefully this will help get some things just growing a little bit faster for us. Those flowers are growing great. I have a feeling after the sun this morning and the rain this afternoon, and it's being sunny tomorrow, they're gonna grow a lot. Those are doing great. I finished my little sign on my slate. Everything else is looking good.